What's going on, people? Welcome to Grit on the Rocks podcast. We have a great show lined up for you today. Yes, we'll be discussing things like the anxiety of flirting, right? Why it's so nerve wracking and how it often goes wrong. We also have some of the worst lines that should never be used. Ever.
There's a lot of
Yeah, ever. But before we dive into all of that, we got to start off.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
I recently got corrected with that.
why.
Because I put it in writing, and I usually say salud, right? Because I say it in Spanish, salud.
Right.
And the person wrote, like, I guess it was like a kind of correction. It wasn't in a bad way, but
No, I get it.
back he wrote salute. So
With a T.
yeah. So it's like, salute.
Right.
So I wrote back and he said, I wasn't trying to correct you. I was like, no, I didn't take it as a correction. I'm just saying I write salud, sometimes salute, but I usually say salute because it means health in Spanish. So when I cheers, right? When I, usually when you have a drink and you cheers or
So
whatever, I always say salute, not salute. But yeah, anyway,
to each his own.
exactly. So so here we go. We're talking about the awkward art of flirting, hilarious pickup lines that never worked. Basically, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the pickup lines, not so much on the flirting part. Um, I just found some of these pickup lines that are so corny, right? So yeah, today we'll be diving into the awkward and cringe-worthy and the downright hilarious world of flirting. Yep. We're talking about those pickup lines that were DOA, dead on arrival, right? Um, but before we do that, oh no, I already put that. Did I? I put
Yeah.
that. No, I have not put the disclaimer, so I gotta get this out the way.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
All right. So with that out the way, we can begin. So we all know that flirting can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially if you have no game or when you've been out of the game for a hot minute, right? So, I mean, in my case, I gotta say, right, I got married at a young age, and then I was single when I was 32. And before judgment, I widowed at 32, just in case, because people are like, oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
Oh. I actually got that comment once at work. Oh, no wonder you're on your second wife. It's like,
Really?
you don't know
People
the
got the
situation.
nerve, man.
They shouldn't know the situation. Anyway, but so I was single at 32, and now you're back on the market basically, and it was super fucking weird for me. I've been at the game for years, and I started seeing like this is the era of now there's social media. Now there's people flirting back and forth on social media and online, and we have all these tools, yet like I say about society, we should be more connected than ever, yet we are more awkward in communication than ever in society.
But being connected too much is a little bit you
But
know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we have the tools to be connected, yet
right.
we are more awkward than ever. And
Oh,
that's exactly what you see in the whole dating game.
yeah, because back then it was just trying to get the digits, little black book,
Yeah.
calling her up, you know. Even check this out. Just to go a little bit, down beeper. Send her those digits that you flip it over.
Boobs.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's just there's so many ways to contact with people, but I mean, and this is over 10 years ago, right? Over 12 years ago. And back then, again, I mean, social media was still new. You had all these ways of communicating, and it was just so weird. And it's just, I felt so old at 32. I felt so old because it's like, yo, you see these, these young people, these young guys, young girls, and you have to learn the lingo and you have to learn the texting language and all this stuff. And I mean, I'm so grateful that
You
my
were
wife
able to catch up.
and I no, I mean my wife and I were friends already. So we started like flirting basically in conversation after, you know. So it was easier, but like I know people in their 20s and 30s and even 40s that are single and are struggling to find a relationship, men and women. It's just it's become very difficult. Online, you don't know who you're meeting. And back then it was such a taboo, the whole online dating. And now it's normal.
Yeah.
Nowadays people just tell you, oh, go online, find a date. Like you have all these apps and all this straight from your phone, but still it is very difficult for people.
Yeah. You just go. You got the Tinder. Yeah, basically, I think that's the main one, right? Tinder.
Probably. I don't even know if that's
I don't know either. I just heard it.
I know I've like I've heard of older people getting on, things like what is it, fish in the sea, many fish in the sea, some shit with fish
Never
in the
heard of that one.
and it's just again it's very normal, but still it is hard to find. And I'm talking about relationship. I'm not talking about like, fucking around and booty calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, one night stand.
That's pretty easy, but I'm talking about people that are looking for relationships and men and women looking for relationships, having such a difficult time. It's like the flirting is not as genuine as before. Now you have so many barriers of entry. Like I feel like finding sex, it's easier than back then, but finding a relationship is way harder for
Yeah.
those who want, because you have people that they want to settle down and they don't want just hookups. They want a relationship.
Now, why do you think is that?
I don't know.
To me, I consider it because people get so offended so quickly.
Well, yeah, I believe it has all to do with communication.
Yeah.
I feel like the communication is what builds relationships. And if that's awkward, that's the beginning stage. That's like the head of the relationship is communication. And if that's fucked up, all the rest of it is just gonna be trash.
Right.
So I just feel like people have such difficulty communicating genuinely, building a relationship. Back then you met someone, I don't know, at a bar or a restaurant or just casually, and you'd start talking, and that talking led to more talking. And that process of talking, you're building something. And I feel like now people want to skip that and they want to just jump ahead and jump into things. And it just, I don't know. I mean, again, I am thankful for my wife. I am thankful the way we created our relationship. I didn't
Bonded.
have to do all that awkwardness. Nowadays, you also have all these consent, all this consent, like, can I kiss you? I'm gonna touch you on your back. Is that okay?
I'm telling you.
So shit like that, it makes things weird.
Yeah, people
Oh,
get
it's just,
offended quickly with with anything.
and I'm not saying, listen, no man or woman should force their way into anything. There should be no forcing of any kind. But this whole consent shit, like if we're having a nice time and we, finish the night off as in, the leaning in, the first kiss and all, let it be. I'm gonna kiss you now. Are you okay? Are
Can
you
I grab your hand?
do you consent? Like this fucking nonsense. Like stop. And then you have people also now with the NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Like if they're celebrities, we're gonna fuck, but you can't tell anybody. Sign here, or you get sued.
Wow.
It's just
Freaking
stop,
contract.
stop. It is a contract. It's actually a contract. You're signing. You cannot discuss this with anyone, and but then you also have the other extreme. You have these people jumping into bed quickly, girls sending nudes easily. Like it's just one extreme or the other, and somewhere in the middle is where we have to be. We have to find that balance, and
We gotta stay back the way it was, just a little bit more modern.
yeah, it's just yes. I feel like men either again the extremes either some did not evolve with times because yeah, cancel culture was a huge thing and men became afraid. And you also have the other extreme of guys that just don't fucking care. Like there's tons of men. I mean, there's women too, but I'm talking to men. Some of
Mhm.
you men are pieces of shit. I'm sorry. You find
Major.
girls, you find these vulnerable women that are actually looking for a relationship, looking for something meaningful, and you feed them all these bullshit lines until they fall for it. And once you bed them, peace. No. Anyway, we went on a tangent there, but yeah. Okay, so we all know that flirting can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially if you have no game. Okay, we said that, or if you haven't been in the game for a minute, right? So this episode is mainly gonna be, I mean, obviously we took it in a more humorous tone because we're not here to, read these doctorate pieces or whatever, or these peer-reviewed. We're not doing none of that. We just wanted to find the funny shit that I've heard, funny shit that I found, and it's just some of you people need to stop like right now. So in this episode, we're mainly gonna focus on pickup lines because the truth is, whether you're looking for a relationship or not, if your game is trash, your flirting is non-existent. It's not a thing.
Yeah. That's what
Probably in your
makes it
head it
more. That's
is.
what makes it more weird and more afraid for men, even women. Being shot down. They come up, they think this pickup line is like the shit, and they go up to this girl and they say that pickup line, and the girl just like twists her head, look at her.
Yeah. It's just,
She, you know?
dude, I mean, I hear this word a lot, and the more I hear it, I feel like it resonates more. Is the word authenticity. You got to be authentic, and it's for everything because people will see right through it. I mean, in everything, in your work ethic, in your relationships, even in stuff like this in podcasts. I feel like this podcast that I'm working on now. First of all, I got to say thank you to all the people who are listening, subscribing, and sharing because so far the feedback that I've gotten has been great. So far, the people I mean, talking about people hitting me up, like, oh my God, I heard one of the episodes. Like, it's just awesome. But reason why I'm saying this, besides to say thank you, it's because this is authentically me. I'm not trying to be something else. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm not trying to feed you all this whatever. I'm just, and it's like when I invited you to the podcast, the first thing I said is like, I mean, he's been a man for long enough, so he has experience in being a man. So this should come natural to us. And so far, it's been great. So
Yeah.
let me give you guys a quick example, right, of a bad pickup line. Ready? Are you a magician? Because when I look at you, everyone else disappears.
Jesus Christ.
I needed the
Just
where's
just saying the word
There we go.
magician in that line just kills the whole thing.
See, shit like that should never, ever, ever, ever be said. But you know, as a man, I cringe when I hear these guys with these terrible pickup lines and this terrible game in just general. And I'm not saying I have game. That's not what I'm saying at all, because like I said in the beginning, it's nerve-wracking. I felt like when I was in the midst of it, it was just so stressful. Even to buy a girl a drink was just so much.
Yeah, I think it's better just to sit at the end of the bar and send her a drink and let her come to you. I think it would have been easier that
I
way.
did that. I sent drinks, and it's just the heartbreaking looks that you get sometimes when you send them a drink, and it's like, you know, it's just it was heartbreaking for me, and it happens anyway. But I can't do shit like this, and like I was saying, like when I look at like my people, Puerto Rican men, and they call women bebecita, it's such a pet peeve of mine. It's stop. And you know, or you know, when you hear guys like, "Hey, gorgeous," like that's from the 60s. Stop it. Stop. You know, and there are things that you can say, and again, this is why you have to evolve with the times also, without going to the extremes, but at least be aware of what's acceptable in the times, because as times change and people evolve, there might be shit that you could have said back then that when you say now, it comes off as creepy, you know? So yeah, be careful with that. So we have a few examples, right, of stories where flirting has gone terribly wrong. And it's usually because of, you know, the shit pickup lines. And yeah, we're going to share some of that with you. Like, so I found some examples of like what the guy says and how the girl reacted.
Okay.
But before we do that, let's take a quick break to hear from one of our supporters. Don't go away, people. You are listening to Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. Or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild. Excellence forged in unity.
All right. So speaking of shit pickup lines and cringy flirting, here's a few examples.
Yeah, I got one here. Let me say
flirting. Huh?
I got one here. It's horrible.
So hold up. Here are a few examples of men flirting with women that went hilariously wrong. These examples show how trying too hard or not thinking through the line can lead to some painfully awkward yet hilarious flirting fails. Okay, you got one, you said?
Yeah. It goes, on a scale of 1 to America, how free are you tonight?
Gee. See, I need to cue this shit up here. Be like, boom. Yeah. See, That's what I'm talking about. These are things that should never come out your mouth ever, unless you want to stay
I agree.
single and alone, and you're not even gonna get sex with that.
You're gonna get slapped with that.
So, so here's an example of what I'm saying. It's called the too early babe move. Too early babe move. What he said. Hey babe, how about I buy you a drink?
Good.
What went wrong?
The
She
babe.
responded, babe, I don't even know you. Calm down, Romeo. So,
The buying a drink is okay.
yeah, but you can't approach a woman with the, hey, babe. You know, I'm telling you, it's like the Spanish one with, hey, bebecita. Okay. Stop. Stop.
Hola, nena.
Oh, hola, muñeca. That's another one. I hate that. Like, it just hurts my ears when I hear something like that. All right. So this one is called the autocorrect disaster. What he texted. You're beautiful. Want to hang out sometime? What autocorrect sent? You're brutal. Want to hang out sometime? What went wrong? She blocked them. He blocked them immediately.
You're brutal.
Jeez. This one is called the overconfident compliment. What he said. God, you must be tired because you've been running through my mind
Oh, I've
all day.
heard that one so much.
What went wrong? She yawned and said, well, I'm definitely tired of shit pickup lines like this one. So- oh, Lord. All right.
I've heard that one so many
Oh
times.
my God. I remember the first time I heard it. I mean, I was a teenager. I actually thought it was so cool.
Oh my
I was in
God.
my
I
teen.
never thought it was
As a
cool.
matter of fact, I think the first person I heard say that was Marlon
Will
Wayans.
Smith.
No, Marlon Wayans. Oh, probably was Will Smith.
Will Smith, he says it in the show Fresh Prince.
Dude, it's just, and I was like, holy shit, that shit is like, oh, that's shit right there.
Did you ever get to use it?
No. But it's like, now it's like, no. All right. This one is called the accidental insult. What he said. I don't usually go for blondes, but you're kind of cute. What went wrong? She gave him a blank stare and walked away. Turns out, backhanded compliments don't work. That shit hurts. That just the eye roll and just walking away. That
It's
shit
better
hurts when you say something.
at least it's better to get an answer, even if it's rejection, than just walk. Oh. That's like that face of disgust.
I'm telling you, when you get that look, you get the eye roll and the hair flip and just walk away. God, that hurts. All right. We have
That's
here,
an ego basher.
yes, super ego basher. All right. So we have here the awkward animal lover. What he said. You remind me of my dog. He's really cute too. What went wrong? She burst out laughing and said, good luck with that.
You never mix one with another.
No, this one definitely deserves that drum roll shit.
Get them.
What he said, if you were a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber.
Oh my God. Ah.
She blinked and said, well, if you were a vegetable, you'd be a potato. Hey, man.
Yo, the comebacks are hurtful.
Hey. All right. This one is called the name fumble. Well, he said, hey, Jessica, right? Trying to act all cute and shit. What went wrong? Her name was Ashley. She didn't bother correcting him. She walked away.
Oh my God.
Ay, all right, here we go. This is the failed smart flirt. What he said. Are you made of copper or tellurium? Because you're cute. CU-TE. What
Wow.
went wrong? She responded, and you must be helium because I'm out of here. There's change here.
Oh my
We have one
God.
more here. Okay. Two more. We have the awkward compliment. What he said. You've got the kind of smile that could light up a room or maybe just a small closet. What went wrong? She frowned and said, wow, just wow. And then we have here, huh?
Go ahead. No, finish this one.
We have here the faint heartbreaker. What he said. Do you have a band-aid? I scraped my knee falling for you.
Oh my
What went
God.
wrong? She deadpanned. Well, you should have watched where you were going.
Wow.
So yeah, those were 10
See,
examples.
but those were all guys saying the now. Do
Oh
you have
yeah.
any women one?
No.
No, it's like, let's say it's hurtful for a man, right? When a woman walks away or she looks at, cross-eyed and whatnot. Now, do the women feel the same if the men just walk away or, not flick their hair up, obviously, but, roll their eyes and walk away?
Well, I mean, I think that's such a rare occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying, women truly understanding what it feels like to be rejected for sex. That doesn't really happen, I'm not saying it never happens, but it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, but the women will just come up with something to come back at it. They'll be like, "Well, it's your loss," and they'll
Yeah,
still flip their hair and walk away.
exactly. No matter
So
what.
the guys still lose anyway, no matter what.
It's correct though. This is why men, you gotta step up your game. You have to be genuine, you have to be authentic, and you have to know how to, I don't know, evolve with time and talk like a human being. Like it's just this whole when men try to be like extra cool, it never, but in these times, it doesn't really work anymore.
No, like this, like
That shit, the whole let me unbutton my shirt so they can see my chest hair. That shit don't
the
work no more. Like,
the finger guns.
But sadly, there are men who are, older and older than us. And what worked back then, they find themselves in a situation where they're trying to like, get with a woman. And unless it's a woman from that era also, then it's not gonna work.
This is like, hey, babe.
So, yeah. So so let's continue with some of these hack pickup lines, right? So that we can cringe together all in harmony here. So I have one here that says, do you have a map? Because I'm getting lost in your eyes.
Yeah, you're right. That one not too long ago. Here goes another one. Look, it goes, are you French? Because I fell for you.
Yeah. uh, let's see. We have one. Oh, we have another one here. So before we go to some whiskey bar wisdom, let's say one more that I have here. Is your dad a boxer? Because you're a knockout. Listen, men out there. Apparently, I've learned that one of the ways to get into a woman's pants is with humor. But this shit is just plain corny. It's not funny. It's not cute. And them panties are staying up, my dude. Like, you ain't getting anywhere with these any of these or anything similar to these pickup lines we've mentioned?
Maybe there's one that would fall for it. Maybe.
I
It's
don't know.
a 1 in a million thing, but there's always a crazy girl that will do it.
True. It has to be somebody that's not exposed to like internet and somebody who lives like in a
But
mountain somewhere.
somewhere like the people like Amish that they don't believe in technology and whatnot.
Yes, yeah, it has to be a place like that where like they're not exposed to the world basically, and they're not up to date with things, and like they live in the country somewhere in a mountain, and there's no technology, no nothing, and maybe you might have a shot with that. But I recommend, yeah, don't ever use these ever, ever. So let's do some whiskey bar wisdom, right? Where we serve up some unprofessional advice with a stiff drink. Sometimes, right now, I'm just drinking water.
I would like
So,
a drink right now.
yeah, I was gonna drink a beer, but I was like,
No.
myself.
I would like a shot of something. Even though I've been fiending for a shot of brandy.
Randy, nice. Yeah, dude, I've been getting into whiskey, and I found this whiskey that, listen, they're not sponsors of the show, but that whiskey was. I went to a cigar lounge with my friend, and you have to purchase a cigar or whatever to be able to use the lounge. But most of these lounges here in New York City, at least, not all of them, but most don't serve drinks. But you can buy your drinks outside, meaning a bottle, and you can bring it inside for what they call a corking fee.
Okay.
Let's say you pay $10 and you can bring in your whole bottle, and they have like, cups and ice and everything for you to use inside.
Oh, that's cool.
You have to pay, the corking fee, which I mean makes sense. And it's cheaper for you too, because here in New York, you'll pay $20 for a drink. And with that, you can go get yourself a bottle with, a few bucks more. Like I bought this bottle of whiskey. My friend bought one and I bought one. And it's called Balaton chocolate whiskey. And he bought Balaton chocolate and peanut butter whiskey, I think it was. Which peanut butter whiskey is the shit. That's my jam right there. But anyway, so I bought this, and this whiskey was like, wait, ice? Good shit. All right.
Next time you come up, bring one.
So yeah, some whiskey bar wisdom. Right? Yeah. That's what we're going to. Now it's time for some whiskey bar wisdom. All right. There's nothing magical about it. Here, drink this. Tell me what's on your mind. Come on. So this was sent to us through our gritontheRocks.com contact us section. For those of you who wish to participate, go to gritontheRocks.com. Scroll to the bottom. There's a contact us section there where you can you put your name, you can write a message and blah, 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 blah. Okay? All right. So, hello, everyone. My name is Tommy Johnson. I'm writing in from Indianapolis, Indiana, a.k.a. the land of cornfields and awkward encounters at dive bars. So I heard you guys are dishing out some unprofessional advice, quote unquote unprofessional advice, and I think I'm in desperate need of some. Here's the deal. I'm apparently the king of terrible pickup lines, and it's time to face the music. The other night, I spotted this gorgeous woman at my local bar. Instead of playing it cool, I went in full cringe. I looked at her and said, brace yourself. Oh, look at this shit. This is exactly the same line you just said. Are you French? Because I fell for you. She just stared at me, like really stared, as if she was questioning all of her life choices that led her to that exact moment. I tried to salvage it by laughing awkwardly, which somehow made things worse. So, being the genius that I am, I followed up with, no? Okay, how about this one? Do you have a name, or can I call you mine? Needless to say, She walked away without a word, and I'm now known as that guy at the bar. I need help, guys. Should I retire my flirting forever? Is there a rehab for people addicted to terrible pickup lines? Should I just embrace my inner dork and wear a caution cringe alert sign around my neck? I eagerly wait for your unqualified advice. Cheers, Tommy. Tommy, I fell for you, Johnson. P.S. If you ever need a mascot for awkwardness, I'm your guy.
That's a good
Oh,
one. You know what? Get off the game.
yeah, I
I,
mean,
I would say, look, I would say anything you find on the internet, don't use it.
it's
Don't use it.
it's just so bad.
Telling you because everything that you read on, they say that everything that's on the internet is not true.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, don't look up, don't Google how to how to pick some pickup lines and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. So never, never repeat these pickup lines. If you see them online, it's just and then the guy doubled down because not only he says one, he says two. He gets a
It would have
terrible
been better.
reaction.
It would have been better if you would have played it, like, oh, I'm just joking around, kept some with some other jokes and whatnot,
Yeah. That's what
you
I'm
know.
saying. I've heard that one of the ways into women's pants is with humor. And he could have probably played it off like, oh no, I'm just fucking around, whatever, and just have a normal conversation like a human.
Right.
That's it.
Well, come up with a different joke, something, to keep the humor.
Fuck that. Don't say jokes. If you already said that shit, no, just have a conversation like a person. Start it off, fix it with the, oh no, I was just kidding. Hey, my name is whatever, and just try to have a conversation. But yeah, don't double down with the. Do you have a name,
Second pickup line.
or should I call you mine? God. So we have a few more of these terrible pickup lines that some men try to use on women. Emphasis on the word try. So let's see. Oh, before we continue, I just want to tell everyone we are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're also available on YouTube. We are also on TikTok, which telling you the reels, I mean the TikTok videos and the reels are on Instagram
Mhm.
that I put some clips of the show have gone like tons of views, which is amazing. But we're also on, I had mentioned it last time, I think it was in the last Friday Fuman's episode. I mentioned that I was thinking about getting into opening also a channel on Rumble. So we are also available on Rumble. Yeah, because Rumble is a little more free speech.
Raunchy.
No, they're a little more free speech. They don't censor so much. I don't think they censor anything at this point, but yeah. So the episodes will also be available on Rumble. So if you're not using YouTube, you just go to Rumble and look for Grit on the Rocks podcast, and there we are. So okay, with that out the way, let's say some of these corny pickup lines. I think some of them are already repeated. I think we said some of them, but let's go down this list. Are you Australian? Because when I look at you, I feel like I'm down under.
You're listening.
Yeah, check this one. Is your name Chapstick? Because you're the bomb.
Yeah, I have that one here. Yeah. Yeah, that one's somewhere. I think I read it. There's also the one that the guy said, do you have a name or can I call you mine? Is your name Google? Because you've got everything I'm searching for.
Yeah, I heard that one not too long ago.
Um,
Here goes one for you. I've got all these forks and knives. All I need is a little spoon.
Stop. Stop. Do you believe in love at first sight? Or should I walk by again?
Yeah, I've heard that one a lot.
Yeah, that one I've heard.
I've heard that one quite a lot.
Are you a time traveler? Because I can see you in my future. Oh, God.
This is pretty cheesy, but I think you're really great.
Oh, God. If you were a fruit, you'd be a pineapple. And if you were a vegetable, I'd visit you in the hospital. Holy shit.
Wow, that one is, oh my God.
That was a good one. Let's see. I must be a snowflake because I've fallen for you.
Wow, that's like the angel one. You know, be an angel, I forgot how it goes. I've heard it so much and I don't remember how it goes.
Oh, God. Oh, check this one out. Oh, my God, this is bad. Are you French? Because, madame, you're fine. Oh, shit.
Yeah, look at this one. Kiss me if I'm wrong, but dinosaurs still exist, right?
I don't get it.
Kiss me if I'm wrong, but dinosaurs still exist, right?
No.
In other words, he's saying that dinosaurs still exist and he's wrong, so she has to kiss him.
Oh.
There we go. Damn, I had to explain that one to you.
Can you lend me a kiss? I promise I'll give it back. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, all right. Let's jump into some barstool banter here. All right. So, barstool banter, where we share the funniest, craziest, and most cringe-worthy stories from you, our listeners. We pick 3 of the best ones to read on the show and then pick our favorite one.
Hey, the story we heard before was good enough.
I know, right? Yeah, today I think we have an Amazon gift card to give away, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, today's winner today, the best story, the best email that we read today. Yeah, I will contact you back and you will be our winner. All right, so let's jump into some barstool banter.
Barstool Banter, brought to you by Buenos Dias Media, where great stories come to life. Welcome to Barstool Banter, the segment where your wildest, funniest, and most unforgettable stories take center stage. Whether it's that crazy night out with the guys, a hilarious encounter at the bar, a day out with the family, or an unforgettable moment with friends, we want to hear it all. Each week, we dive into your emails, share the best stories, and pick our favorite one, and who knows, maybe even win a prize. So grab a drink, light it up, pull up a stool, and let's get into some barstool banter.
All right. So here we go with email number 1, submitted to us through our contact us section of barstoolbanter.com. It's titled, "The Time I Got Mistaken for a Stripper."
Okay.
This is from Mike Peterson from Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, GriIt on the Rocks. You know those nights where you think this can't possibly get weirder? And then the universe says, "Oh, my beer." Yeah, that happened to me. So last weekend, I'm out with the guys for my buddy's bachelor party. We're at this club in Scottsdale, and apparently it's ladies' night. Things are going great. Drinks are flowing. Music's bumping. Life is good. I hit the bathroom on my way out. Some lady grabs my arm. looks me dead in the eyes and says, "Are you the stripper?" At first, I thought she was joking, so I laughed it off. But no, she's serious. Before I could respond, she shouts, "Ladies, the entertainment has arrived." Suddenly, I'm surrounded by a group of women waving dollar bills at me like I'm Magic Mike. I try to explain I'm not the hired help, but they're not having it. Long story short, after several drinks, on the house, mind you, I may or may have not done a very uncoordinated version of the Carlton dance before fleeing the scene. Moral of the story, maybe skip my arm day next time. Cheers, Mike, not a stripper, Peterson from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, so that was the first one from Phoenix, Arizona.
I could just imagine that.
From Mike, I know, right? From Mike, not a stripper. All right. Email number 2, also submitted through our contact us section of gritontheRocks.com. And it's called Parenting Fail at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, jeez.
This is coming from Sam Wilson from Austin, Texas. And it says, "Let me tell you about the day I became a quote unquote legend for all the wrong reasons at Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm at Chuck E. Cheese with my 4-year-old daughter for a birthday party. Everything's going great until she spots the giant stuffed unicorn behind the prize counter. It's like 10,000 tickets, but she's got her heart set on it. Of course, I promise her we'll win it, not realizing I'm basically committing to the next 6 hours of whack-a-mole hell. After burning through $50 and maybe winning 200 tickets, I noticed one of the kids in the parties got a ticket jackpot. And here's where things went south. In a moment of desperation, I whispered to my daughter, "Go ask him if we can have his tickets." You know, like totally a responsible adult. She does, and to my horror, the kid agrees. Before I could stop her, she grabs his tickets, runs over to me and shouts, "Daddy, we won!" right in front of the kid's mom. Now, this lady's giving me a death stare like I just robbed her son. And instead of explaining myself, I panicked, grabbed my daughter, and sprinted out of there. So yeah, we got the unicorn, but I'm pretty sure I'm banned from Chuck E. Cheese for life. Lesson learned, don't use your kid as a ticket mule. Thanks for letting me share my shame. Sam, Unicorn Bandit Wilson. Okay. Number 3.
Use your kid for that.
Number 3, this is from Jake Robinson from Chicago, Illinois. What's up, Grit on the Rocks crew? I've got a story about how my best friend Mike became the worst wingman in history. We're at this rooftop bar in Chicago, and I spot this girl who's way out of my league. Mike convinces me to talk to her, and I'm halfway through my very shaky, half-drunk introduction when Mike decides it's time to, quote-unquote, help me out. He comes over, throws his arm around me, and says, Did Jake tell you he's a dolphin trainer? I'm not. I'm about to correct him when he suddenly perks up and says he loves dolphins. So like any sane man trying to salvage the situation, I start making up this ridiculous story about how I trained dolphins at SeaWorld for 2 summers. It's working. She's into it, asking all kinds of questions. Then out of nowhere, Mike blurts, "Show her the dolphin noise, bro." Now I'm in too deep. So what do? I make the stupidest dolphin noise. I make the stupidest dolphin noise imaginable. It wasn't even close. She just stares at me and says, "You're not a dolphin trainer, are you?" And just walks away. Lesson: never trust your wingman after 3 tequila shots.
Well, like,
Yo, I would give the prize to his friend. I swear. Just show her the dolphin noise, bro.
throw him under the bus.
Holy shit. Oh, that's such an epic bro moment, man. Oh, that's great. I mean,
Yo, he
needless
could
to
have just
say-
stopped. He could have just stopped with the story and left it at the trainer. He
Oh
had to
my
kill it.
God.
No, but he killed it, yo. He killed it.
I definitely I gotta vote for this one, to be honest.
No, yo, hats off
Hands
to this one.
down. All right. So Jake Robinson from Chicago, Illinois.
He's gotta share the prize with his friend.
You are today's winner. Yeah, we will be contact you. We'll contact you on the same email that you wrote us through. So congratulations, sir. You're our first prize winner. So this is awesome. This story was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
All right. So you want to read some more pickup lines?
Let me see if I got a couple here.
Because I have here, so again, this one is we already said it about the magician. Oh, here's one. Do you have a pencil? Because I want to erase your past and write our future.
Oh my God.
I don't have it here.
Check this one out. It says, I always thought that Disneyland was the happiest place on earth. But that was before I got the chance to stand here next to you.
Oh, that's cheesy.
Cheesy.
That's cheesy. Oh, I need to get a clip of that kid song. The cheese stands alone. The cheese stands. I gotta get that. I'm gonna use that shit.
You gotta get the clip of the Roxanne, the Night at the Roxbury one. That'll fit right in. That'll be a good one to stick in there.
All right. We have one here. It says, are you a beaver? Because damn, that shit. Terrible.
Here goes another one. I'm not a photographer, but I can definitely picture us together.
Yeah, I have that one here on the list. Do you like raisins? How do you feel about a date?
I don't get it.
The date, the fruit is like a big raisin.
Ah, okay, nah.
I mean,
Wow.
stupid. Okay, so did we say this one? Are you an angel? Because you've fallen from heaven and probably hurt your knees.
They're supposed to be wings.
It says here, are you an angel? Because you've fallen from heaven and probably hurt your knees. I don't get it. It's like in Family Guy, and now he has no thumbs. Oh God. All right. Let's see. Oh,
Let's see.
if you were a transformer, you'd be Optimus Fine.
I'm pretty good at algebra. I can replace your ex, and you wouldn't need to figure out why.
Stop. Listen, algebra lines. That screams nerd. No.
Major.
Can you catch?
Any computer, anything that has to do with computer, math, and whatnot. No. Video games, even worse.
I know, right? Sadly to say, that's what the major conversations nowadays are.
Yep.
Start talking about video games.
Video games.
Ugh. All right.
That's where it falls.
Can you catch? Because I think I'm falling for you. Oh. I think this is the last one that I have here. Okay, I think I have like one more after that. But before we do our Hero of the Day segment, do you have a son? Son as in S-U-N. Because you're hot and I'm lost in your orbit.
Wow. But don't.
Yep. Okay, so all right, that's enough nonsense. Let's take a look at what we have today for hero of the day, right? Yeah,
Positive.
yeah, something positive because all this cringy shit is too much. All right, hero of the day.
You're listening to Grit on the Rocks podcast, and it's time for Hero of the Day, the segment where we celebrate everyday acts of kindness and the unsung heroes among us. Whether it's lending a helping hand, going the extra mile for someone in need, or making a positive impact in your community, we're here to honor your good deeds. Each week we share an inspiring story from our listeners and recognize the hero behind it. So sit back, get inspired, and let's raise a glass to the heroes who make the world a better place.
Okay. Let's see. So we have Brian Williams from Nashville, Tennessee. And it says, my name is Brian Williams, and I'm writing in from Nashville, Tennessee. I wanted to share a little story of the Hero of the Day segment because it's one of those moments that reminded me how a small gesture can go a long way. So last week, I was at a gas station filling up my truck when I noticed this older lady parked at the pump across me. She looked pretty stressed, trying to get her credit card to work, but the machine kept declining it. After a few minutes, she started tearing up. It was one of those someone's having a rough day moments, and I just couldn't walk away. I went over and asked if she was okay, and she told me her card wasn't going through, and she only had a few dollars in cash to fill up her tank. Without really thinking about it, I swiped my card and told her to fill up the tank on me. At first, she refused, saying she couldn't accept it, but I insisted. I told her, we've all have days like this, and if I can help you get where you need to go, I'm happy to do it. She was so thankful that she started crying even harder, which kind of made me tear up too, not gonna lie. She kept asking for my address to send me the money back, but I told her to just pay it forward whenever she got the chance. It wasn't much, but it felt good to know that maybe I made her day a little easier. Sometimes all it takes is a small act of kindness to remind people they are not alone. Thanks for the show, fellas. Keep it going. Best, Brian Williams.
That's cool.
So
That's cool. I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot lately. Like random people just pay either their groceries or a while back, my daughter, she went to a convenience store and this guy was there and he paid for gas and for a lot of the stuff in the store that people were buying, but it wasn't only my daughter, it was a couple of people there. And I'm telling you, there's just I've been seeing this like constantly.
yeah. No, I mean, it's a great thing when again, I mean, and we say this usually in every episode, but it's true. Sometimes it's the little things that something so simple can change someone's day around, and that day can turn on their week around, and that week can turn their month around, and especially when and this is something I truly wholeheartedly believe in. When you bless someone without expecting anything back from that person, I can assure you, I definitely think you will be blessed. But it's also great when you're able to tell the person, you know what, just pay it forward because it's like a chain reaction.
Right.
And not only this person was blessed, but now the next person. And then if that person tells that person, pay it forward. It's a movie like that it's
yeah, it's called Pay It Forward.
Yeah, right. It's about paying it forward basically. But I think it's a great thing. I encourage everyone to do so. I mean, sometimes
That's a great feeling.
Yeah, man. Sometimes something as simple as I've seen people, let's say, at a coffee shop or whatever it is, and they're short by whatever, $1. And sometimes these stores, they're like, oh, yeah, don't worry. Like if it's an older person. But some of these people, they're like, no, fuck that. You don't have the money, you gotta go. And it feels good to be like, you know what? I'll pay for it. Funny thing that we talk about that. I was reading a blog post recently, and it's I don't remember exactly the title, but it's something along the way, like how I taught it's an old man telling the story, saying how he taught a young woman a valuable lesson. So he says that he was at a drive-through at, I think, McDonald's, and he hadn't finished placing his order when the person behind him just started honking the horn, like to hurry up and blah, 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 through the window. So, he finishes his order and they tell him, McDonald's usually has two windows. One you stop to pay and the other one you stop to pick up. So he stops at the first window and he tells the cash person, register person, "Oh, what did the person behind me order?" And they're like, "Oh, whatever, da 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 da." He goes, "Okay, so I'm gonna pay for it." So in your head, you're like, "Oh, he's teaching a lesson with kindness."
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes to the second window, gets his food, shows the receipt also for the order of the person behind him. He tells them, "Yeah, look, the next order is also mine. Look at the receipt here." Takes both orders and leaves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good payback.
It's a good lesson, man. So all right, I think I have one more here to just close this out. There's one more cheesy pickup line here, just in case if you didn't get enough. I got one more. Oh my God, this is terrible. And it's just the one liner like, "Is it hot in here or is it just you?" Oh, I don't have the cue here. Fuck. So anyway, so thank you everyone who stood this far and listened to the show completely. Those of you watching on YouTube or Rumble, thank you for watching. Those of you who share posts, usually it's easier to share, like on Facebook is the easiest one. When I post a reel or something, they're able to share it. I saw one of the clips got a couple hundred views. Actually, I think it's over 4,000 plays.
Oh, wow.
Which is good. I mean, this is organic. There's no promoting or anything. I'm just posting them on social media and people are sharing, which is great. But you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, all the same thing. GriIt on the Rocks. And there we are. So thank you all. Everyone who wants to participate in Whiskey Bar Wisdom, Barstool Banter, Hero of the Day, or Kryptonite Sessions, I encourage you to go to gritontheRocks.com, scroll down to the bottom, read the information of what each segment is. It is there. It's all there. And just find the Contact Us section, fill out the information, and just send us a message through there. We read everything we get. And we pick the best ones that we for the show. Next week I think we'll be talking about shopping, right? It's gonna be the bro code of grocery shopping, surviving the supermarket aisles as a man.
Okay.
Following weeks we'll have that. We'll have is it less manly to be cooking and cleaning? There's another episode on, does listening to Taylor Swift make you less manly? So that and so much more in the following weeks. Remember, every Friday we also have the Friday Fumas episodes where we talk about whatever cigar we're smoking or smoked that day, what we drank, and then we just have a conversation. We pick a quote, right? One of these famous, usually I'd like to pick positive quotes for self-development, but we take the quote and we pick it apart. What do we think? What does it mean to us? Yeah. And then, every Tuesday, every Friday, we should be having new episodes. So last week I smoked I think it was Perdomo Habano, which was a great cigar. And I don't remember what I drank with that, but this week we should be visiting a lounge, me and a couple of friends of mine. I'm gonna see if they let me record there. If not, we'll record here in the studio. And it'll just be me talking about what we smoked. I'll probably show you some highlights or whatever happened at the lounge. Yeah. So again, if you have a business and you want to become a sponsor of the show, you can reach out at info@gritontheRocks.com. You can also use the contact us section at gritontheRocks.com, or you can write at gritontheRocks@gmail.com, or through one of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. If you want to become one of the sponsors of the show or one of the segments, or we also have available spots for you to showcase your logo on the website. And we have a section that's called sponsors. We put your logo there where people can click on your logo and it will take them to your website or social media site, whichever one you choose. But yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you guys so much for listening, for tuning in. You are listening to, or you have listened to, Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias media production. Till next week, guys. Peace.
Peace.